Thank you, everyone, for joining in this official celebration of the launch of Hiro LS. As Kate mentioned, I'm Libby. I'm one of the account directors on Patsnap's life science team. And taking a leaf out of, well, I would normally say Hiro's book, but perhaps here it is more appropriate to say Hiro's code. I've designed a very brief presentation where I'll give you kind of a quick summary and analysis of the tool. I've also added my email down in the bottom left-hand corner so that anyone who feels galvanized to pursue a deep exploration of the Gen AI technology on which Hiro is built, or a specific use case perhaps that comes to mind as we go through this, can easily connect with me hereafter. That deep exploration, by the way, was a bit of a pun or a prefigurement, if you will, of one of Hiro LS's capabilities, which we'll be returning to in just a little bit. So today, during this session, you can expect to walk away with an initial understanding of what Hiro LS can do and what that means for you, how it does it, where and when you might use it in your innovation workflow or life cycle, whether that is using it as a standalone tool or perhaps via API enterprise-wide integration, or perhaps while you're actually conducting searches in one of our other life science modules like Synapse or Bio or Chemical. And then finally, you can expect to walk away with a little bit of an idea of what it actually looks like to use it. You know, given the old adage about the relative value of pictures and words, it seems like we better make sure to show you a little bit of what it looks like. So whether you are developing a new drug or perhaps researching a competitor pipeline or conducting clinical research or preparing for a market launch, whatever the case may be, Hiro LS is designed to support you with rapid, real-time analyses that are going to pull from Patsnap's proprietary and external scientific data sets. So those include things like peer-reviewed articles, patents, drug data, clinical trials, sequence data, chemical structures, experimental data. There is a wealth of data, as you are probably beginning to understand, at your fingertips. And more to the point, at Hiro's. Hiro is built on Patsnap's Pharma GPT, which is a domain-trained LLM. So Hiro is going to connect you to industry-specific answers with, key point, reliable references to eliminate bottlenecks in your drug discovery workflows and kind of empower you to drive breakthroughs with greater speed and precision and confidence. And it does bear saying here, bear clarifying that your data, the conversations that you have with Hiro LS, are never used to train the underlying Pharma GPT. So you can go ahead and converse with Hiro in total safety and security. So long as it is about scientific matters. I will say that you cannot ask Hiro, for example, about the best recipe for apple pie because you have an upcoming holiday gathering. Hiro will kindly tell you that that is a little bit outside the domain of his expertise because, again, it is a domain-specific LLM. So diving a little bit deeper into this LLM on which Hiro is built. Pharma GPT is based on Llama 3, and it leverages retrieval augmented generation, or RAG, as it's probably more commonly known, as well as reinforcement learning, human feedback, RLHF, in other words. I don't know if y'all like acronyms or the full name, but anyway, both of which are fascinating techniques that I really hope that some of you will want to reprise in a follow-on conversation. They are very nuanced and exciting. We don't have time to go deeply into them now, but for now, a sort of 10,000-foot insight to file away for future conversation is that they kind of help reduce hallucinations. Any among you who are either avid or novice ChatGPT kind of users have probably come across some rather funny or just downright confusing hallucinations when asking ChatGPT a question. That's not something that you would expect to happen here with Hiro LS. And these techniques also improve, the accuracy of Hiro's responses to your life science questions. Speaking of which, speaking of questions, what kind of questions are people already asking Hiro LS, and what kind of questions might you want to leverage it to answer? I tend to think about things in buckets. And so there are kind of three buckets, if you will. You might ask Hiro LS for assistance in conducting and refining a topic of research. Maybe you want to refine your initial query, or maybe you want to kind of probe the boundaries of a particular topic of interest and kind of understand what does the field look like that you should really be considering. You can also ask Hiro to summarize existing data within defined parameters that are important to you. And you can ask Hiro to analyze a particular topic of interest, right? Hiro is not here to dump you unceremoniously into a data lake. Hiro is here to be kind of like your boat to sail you across that data lake to a destination that is important to you. And if we kind of click into that a little bit, let's see here. If we kind of click into that a little bit, you might be wanting Hiro to, kind of when you're researching, Hiro can help you address kind of a wide range of pharma and biomedical topics, so you can get your basic research and some comprehensive analyses and such just in a matter of seconds, instead of hopping from one platform to another and then maybe trying to collate all the information into an Excel sheet and then trying to filter the Excel sheet. Speed is everything, right? Accuracy is everything, and that's what Hiro is here to help with. And I mentioned not dumping you into a data lake. Hiro is here to visualize important results so that you can both take action quickly and so that you can export them to facilitate offline conversations with other members of your organization. Hiro is connecting billions of data points, all directly to their sources. And in fact, you can even upload documents that you might want Hiro to take into consideration to contextualize its response to you. Maybe you have a particular abstract or something that you've written that you want Hiro to consider as it formulates its response. And then after its initial response, here we're coming back to that little pun or prefigurement that I mentioned earlier. Hiro will offer you the option of conducting a deep exploration so that you can actually really transform complex data into a very powerful kind of report with many, many sources. And we'll take a look what that actually looks like in just a little bit. So we're going to jump into the tool here. I'm showing you these things very quickly so you can keep in your mind why we're using Hiro. We might be researching. We might be trying to make sure that we're connecting research to sources, right? We might be wanting to try to take like a chemical compound or some such and actually do a search on that. So it's not just text that we can base our search on. We might want to take the results of the search and visualize it so we can actually think about what we want to do with those results. Here we can upload those documents if we want to search a little bit more specifically with a little more context. And we can export whatever Hiro generates for us so that we can facilitate conversation with other people. Regardless of the type of question or what the kind of output that you have in mind, you can count on Hiro for speed. Whether that's from competitor drug pipelines to regulatory guidelines, Hiro is going to deliver precise, actionable answers with full source transparency. And you can depend on Hiro for accuracy, right? None of this ChatGPT hallucination business. and security, because as I mentioned earlier, none of your conversations are being used to further train Hiro. That's just between you and Hiro. So here are a couple of use cases that I will leave you with. You might be wanting to research a drug pipeline, like we mentioned at the beginning, or assess a competitive landscape, or take a look at some regulatory policies, or maybe get a beat on some emerging innovations that either pose interesting opportunities for collaboration or perhaps potential competition that you need to keep in mind. Maybe we want to track the clinical progress of a particular compound or in a particular therapeutic area. These are all reasons that we might want to use Hiro. So I'm going to pause here. I'm going to unshare my screen for just a moment, and we're going to go ahead and pop into Hiro itself so you can take a little bit of a look at Hiro in action. So I mentioned that Hiro can be used as a standalone. It can also be used while you're actually using some of the other modules within Patsnap's Life Science Suite, or, although I won't be demonstrating this today, via kind of an enterprise API integration. That is definitely one of those opportunities for future conversation if that is percolating your interest. So, for example, I'm going to start with a situation where we're actually using another one of the modules. I might be using Synapse, one of the other modules in the Life Science Suite, and I might, for example, be doing a little bit of research into, it really could be anything. I'll just use some of the examples here. I might be doing a little bit of research. I might be conducting a search. I'll go quickly. I won't put in too many conditions. Having done an initial search because I'm kind of curious about the whole bispecific antibody field, I might narrow that down a little bit so that I'm not dealing with thousands of results to consider, right? There we go, 34. That is something that I can handle. So I might arrive here at a very specific part of the landscape that I'm curious about. And I might want to ask Hiro if Hiro would just do me the favor of summarizing the results on this page. Not all of us think in tabular format, and so it can be very helpful to have Hiro actually write out what those tabular results mean, what those things that conform to our search parameters actually mean for us. And having done so, Hiro will deliver us a little report that we can download, we can share, and in the report, the same images that you see here, which are visualizing the data, visualizing the results of our search, will be included, of course, in the download. They won't be as beautifully interactive as they are here, but they will be there for your reference. I might also, let me close that just for a second. I might also, while I'm in this tabular view, I might also have chosen to really click into a particular drug. And I might be looking at the drug detail page, trying to figure out a little bit more about it. I might be reviewing what kind of information there is. And I might want to highlight a term that I want to check my understanding of. And so I could definitely ask Hiro also if it would just explain, please, what exactly I've just highlighted. Now here, plan failure, you've got to give it some context, right? Just like a person, you can't walk up to somebody, say a single word and hope they're going to answer your question. You've got to give it a little context. So I do this to emphasize the fact that when you talk to Hiro, give it a little something to work with, just like you would a normal human being, because that's how you talk to Hiro. You would talk to Hiro just like you do a normal human being. So maybe I'm asking Hiro to help me visualize my results of a search. Maybe I'm asking Hiro to explain a term or a phrase that I see, maybe in a drug description or in a patent. But maybe I want to use Hiro independently, right? Maybe I'm not in one of the modules in the Life Science platform. In that case, I can just pop into Hiro, and here's where I might be wanting Hiro to support me in sort of sketching out the area around a topic of interest, or maybe help me actually ask a better question about my topic of interest. Let's presume, I just added one in down here. Let's presume that this is my topic of interest and I want to ask Hiro the question, right? I can go ahead and send this to Hiro, and I'll wait a few moments. And Hiro's going to begin answering, giving me a sense of, all right, what is there to know about this particular topic? And I do apologize. My internet connection is a little bit slower than Hiro actually works. And so I don't get to quite show off just how lightning fast Hiro gets to go. I blame it on the Minnesota winter. Everything slows down in Minnesota in the wintertime. But in any case, here Hiro goes, giving us a good point of entry to whatever topic is foremost on our minds. And once Hiro has gone through an initial answer to our question, and you'll be able to click up here once the answer is finished generating to see all the sources that Hiro pulled from in order to generate this answer, because as I mentioned earlier, of course, right, knowing where data came from, very important. Once Hiro is done, then we can go ahead and take a look at everything that it taught us about, all right, what's the first kind of thing that I want to consider when I'm wondering about the clinical outcomes here? All right, it'll give me some background. Okay, great. You'll see that everything that it tells you about is hyperlinked. You can go over here to click into any one of those sources if you really want to drill down. Okay, we've got a little table here, a summary, all right. But maybe this is just the tip of the iceberg and you want to go deeper, right? Here's that little punter prefigurement. We might want Hiro to take us on a deep exploration. Maybe we copy this, maybe we share it with people as our preliminary findings, but maybe we go straight into deep exploration or ask Hiro with its little prompts to help us ask either a better question or a more refined question, or maybe a question that branches off from this initial one. I'm going to go into the deep exploration mode. Now here, the answer is going to be more comprehensive. You can see what Hiro's doing here up at the top. It lets you know what's going on. And once Hiro has worked through this process, we're going to have an even more comprehensive answer that we can begin to look at. And I will let my internet catch up with Hiro's lightning fast performance. Seems like the internet is feeling a little bit better at the moment. Once this has generated, there are a couple of really interesting things about the way that Hiro conducts this deep exploration. Again, you're going to see your sources. You can drill into that. You'll be able to look at everything that Hiro considered and the way it's structured its response, and you can navigate to those areas. You can also take a look, I'll expand this, at kind of the mind map. What is Hiro connecting as it considers your question and generates a response? And this, just like anything else, you can download so that you can refer to it later, or you can share it with other people. Keeping my eye on the time. Kate, how are we doing here?
Not bad, Libby. We're doing just great.
All right. So I do want to leave time for the next person. But this is just a little bit of an introduction about how you can use Hiro by itself or with other things, the kind of questions that you might want to ask it, the kind of responses it can get you, how you can trust those responses, not only in the data sources, but in the security of the conversation you're having with Hiro. And anyone who would like to explore a specific use case or dive deeper into Hiro or the technology underneath it, it would be my pleasure to do that with you. So I will pop my email again into the chat. I'll make sure to watch my inbox so that I can keep having exciting conversations about the exciting new launch that is Hiro.
Thank you so much, Libby. I think this was an awesome showcase of Hiro, maybe just the tip of the iceberg, if you will, for what it can do. And but it's definitely very exciting. I know everybody at Patsnap is really excited about it. And we really think it's a great tool to help accelerate breakthroughs and transform life sciences innovation. So thank you so much for walking us through that, Libby.
All right. Have a great rest of the conference, everyone.